Hello, welcome back. This is Red, White And Otaku Reacts. My name is Tangent Man.
And I'm Sheltered Snipe.
If this is your first time with us, what this channel is about is we cover media from America that's based on or set in Japan, or media from Japan based on or set in America. And this movie is a little bit of both because the Resident Evil game franchise is a Japanese game series mostly set in America and based on American tropes. And the movies are an American invention based on Japanese games. So it's a Red, White, and Otakuception.
Yeah, it's pretty much up our wheelhouse.
Exactly up our wheelhouse. So yeah, we are pretty excited about the upcoming movie, both because it is kind of right in the crosshairs of what we're interested in, and because we're both Resident Evil fans and we're fans of Zach Cregger and his work. We really liked Weapons and Barbarian.
Oh yeah, those films were fantastic.
Agreed. So, without further ado, we're gonna watch the trailer, probably in relative silence, and then once we've seen it through, we'll talk about it and kind of go through it and see what details we can pick out.
Yep, ready whenever
Here.
you are.
Okay, there you have it.
So, general impressions.
I mean, it's kind of an elaboration on the first teaser. It doesn't give me a ton of new info or a terribly different impression, which is fine. It's not like I want the movie all spelled out for me before we see it. Um, what did you think? What do you think?
I'm kind of liking where it's going so far.
Mhm.
Um, it's doing that kind of creepy thing where you just look out in the distance, there's just like a singular figure running towards you with that zombie. Gives me It Follows vibes.
Mhm.
Which I haven't seen it, but I've seen clips from it, and that film looks terrifying. I really need to watch it sometime.
I've seen It Follows. It's pretty good. The
Um,
very art house.
yeah, and I'm also liking the setting. It's obviously modern day. It's got phones, cell phones, but it's also doing a few like anachronistic things. It's got a typewriter. It's got landline phones. It's got a farmhouse out in the middle of nowhere. Uh, that and I also like the winter setting. I feel like you don't get a lot of winter set horror films often, especially not in Resident Evil. I mean, the only winter Resident Evil I can think of was Resident Evil 8.
Mhm.
So, I like that contrast of the snow and probably gallons of blood. So, it's going to be
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Blood and Snow is a good contrast. The white and red
Yeah.
Christmas colors. Yeah. Um, I agree. I agree with all of that. It looks like it has Zach Cregger's kind of typical approach to comedy with this kind of average guy. He's very Zach Cregger protagonist. I do find this segment of him looking through the ER, finding somebody to help him, very relatable. I assume this is the ER. Just like walking by an open door and seeing one of the worst things you've ever seen. I feel that a lot, having worked in the ER for a while myself. Um, there's a lot of good references to the Resident Evil series. Like you said, we have the typewriter. Without looking it up, seeing that box of the shotgun ammo, it looks like a brand of ammo that exists in universe.
Yeah, it looks like in the remake games, if I remember right, the shotgun boxes are usually green, so that might be a recreation of it.
Yeah, I can't. There's some glare on my screen over here just because of how my room is. Is there like a typewriter in this office area?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a little bit too dark for how my house is set up, unfortunately. But that's exciting. I'm glad we have a typewriter in there. I look forward to seeing him save his game and have to conserve ink ribbons. Uh, okay. Heavy field, high velocity buckshot.
Is that also gunpowder in that drawer too?
Velocity. Is it?
Yeah, it looks like there's a little container of gunpowder above the bullets
Could be. Are you saying that because it looks like gunpowder from the games, or like in real life?
from the games that kind of look similar.
Okay. I don't remember enough what it looks like to say. I see the Advil. I think that would be an interesting addition to the gameplay. If you had to take Advil to like get rid of the headache from having a gun go off right beside your face.
Yeah. I mean, so far, I think the props are on point.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, and yes. So here we go. Now, no wonder this looks so familiar to me. Heavy Field is the shotgun shells from Resident Evil 4,
Ah,
specifically. It looks like, yeah. So that's fun. It looks familiar to me, viewer, because I've just been playing 4 remake lately. So okay, so I paused it again. So I this could be deceptive editing. I can't quite see the corners of the object the hand is reaching out from, but the implication seems to be that he is transporting some type of life form, presumably a BOW.
maybe. I think this might be a misdirection, though, because it doesn't look like the container he was using, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, if the guy there is reliable, even if it's not a BOW, it's something tied into whatever's going on. Maybe he's carrying like a cure or like the a tyrant heart, maybe.
I mean, it's Umbrella. It definitely ain't a cure.
Well, I mean, technically we don't know. Do we know that it's an umbrella product he's carrying?
I mean, he's taking something to Raccoon City. It's probably for Umbrella.
Probably, high probability. But I mean, there's some good people to an extent of good who work for Umbrella, like John. Uh, he could be. I don't know. But yeah, it'd be kind of funny though if it's a heart, and when they get to where he's going, they just like dome him and put it on the outside of a tyrant. Be like that second exterior heart they have.
Oh yeah. Oh, there was the large fellow in the original teaser trailer. I wonder if that's some variant of Tyrant, maybe.
Maybe. Uh, yeah. What it reminds me of is there's a he it reminds me of like this Punisher villain, I think is called Medallion, who's this gigantic obese guy who like lives in the sewers, but obviously there's no actual relation there, but that's kind of what he looks like.
Hmm.
Um, Actually, I might be getting two of them confused because there's another Punisher villain who likes to kill people and then sleep underneath their corpses, and he lives in the sewers too, but he's actually kind of a small dude. But anyway, that's not the morbid franchise we're here to talk about.
Huh.
Yeah, we have a little stringy hand coming out of there.
Yeah, it looks like during
Oh
that
man.
weird hand scene, he's in some sort of laboratory. I think so. You're gonna get your Resident Evil laboratory. It seems like.
Well, yeah, how else would the movie end? If you don't go to a lab and blow something up, the movie just kind of keeps going.
Yeah.
Resident Evil Law. Um, yeah, that's cool. I don't know. I really the thing I love about this movie from what we've seen so far is like the smaller Resident Evil isms. Like I love just finding a gun hanging on the wall and picking it up and then having to rustle around for some ammo you can use.
Yeah. If I remember from an interview, like that's what Cregger wanted to sort of emulate in the film is gameplay itself.
Yeah, and you know what? Like at this point, this is what we've done every time. Let's go back and watch the first one too. Okay, so yeah, watching them side by side, they cover a lot of the same territory.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here though. Like I might have liked the first teaser more, only because most of the stuff I'm excited about was already in that first one. So the second one, the parts that I cared about felt like a rehash. The newer stuff was like the more character oriented stuff. And don't get me wrong, when it comes to the actual movie, that's what matters to an extent. But not knowing these characters yet, it's hard for me to be too excited about. Oh, this guy's strained relationship with his girlfriend or his money problems. Like I will care when we're in the story. We're just not there yet. Um, but some cool Resident Evilisms. I love this room. This is such a Resident Evil room.
Yeah, it reminds me of was it Chief Iron's office in the RE2 remake?
Hmm. I could see that. I also think about some of the rooms in RE1 remake, but I'm not going to talk about specifics since you're playing that right now. Uh, I also kind of wonder if this is at all evocative of like RE7, but I haven't played that game, so my knowledge base is pretty limited.
It could be. I won't spoil RE7 for you, but it's
I
got
just know it's
some.
set in like I know it's more of an actual house as opposed to like a manor, so
Yeah.
a house with a secret lab, of course, because it's a Resident Evil game. So I have no doubt. But anyway, um,
Oh, you'll see with that game.
yeah, it'll probably be a little bit. I'm addicted to chronological order, and I'm still kind of further back, but I'll get there. I'll get there.
I love
Yeah.
this. I love this shot right here of him running in the middle of the night with the moon like in
Mhm.
the air, in the sky, just illuminating things. That's a great chilling shot right there.
It really is cool, and I love this. I love that we're like collecting keys. That's so Resident Evil.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
only way it could be more Resident Evil is if it had like a clover on it, or if it was a chess piece shaped plug for some reason.
Hey, there's always time. I mean, that could show up in the film for all we know. Um, I can see why they're using the same scenes over and over again in both trailers.
Sure.
The movie's only an hour and 35 minutes, which is pretty brisk, which I
Mhm.
actually like in my horror films. So I think they're trying to be conservative in what they do show us.
Yeah, I kind of like. I know that so many of them have turned out to be awful, at least based on public perception, but I do like they haven't given up on Resident Evil as like a multimedia franchise. They keep trying. It's hard not to respect that, you know?
Yeah. Um, it's like with some franchises after a single failure, like, well, we're never touching this, it's cursed. And with Resident Evil, it's like, well, yeah, these films are kind of not good, but they also make hand over fist cash. So we'll keep
Hmm.
making them.
Yeah, it's like Resident Evil is like the go-to example of video game movies suck, and yet they keep making new efforts. So,
Oh,
like, I
I'm sure the new Silent Hill probably takes the crown for that.
so I've heard. I haven't watched it. I don't hate myself enough to do that, except for like podcast episodes. But
Yeah.
um, I'd love to get another Resident Evil streaming series. I've heard the last one was terrible, and we'll find out for ourselves in due time. But a good one or even an okay one could be awesome.
I mean, heck, if they just like emulate a little bit of The Walking Dead, just a bunch of survivors trying to get out of the city with a bunch of zombies everywhere, it could be pretty successful, I think.
I mean, maybe. I mean, here's my thing about that, is that people kind of describe Resident Evil as zombie series, but I kind of think that's inaccurate. And here's a great example of why. Like, look at this fucking guy. Like, that's not a zombie, that's some other bullshit. And that's what's great about Resident Evil is that calling it a zombie series is really pigeonholing it because it's more like a body horror franchise, if anything.
That's
You know?
true.
You get such a variety of fucked up monstrosities, and that's why that is the main reason, I guess. I am such a Resident Evil fan, and I don't really care that much. Well, it's not the only reason, but I really like Resident Evil, where I don't care about like The Walking Dead. I haven't had that much curiosity about Dead Rising. Not to say I hate it, just don't. I'm not immediately excited about it. But Resident Evil, like, just give me more fucked up shit.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm a big Romero guy, so I'm a fan of zombies in general. But I do think that Resident Evil has something special with the body horror and mutants everywhere. That's
Mhm.
something. that other franchises have tried to emulate, but for some reason Resident Evil always comes out on top.
Yeah, I mean, you have like Left 4 Dead where they have like different zombie archetypes, but it mostly feels like a gameplay convention. Whereas in Resident Evil, you not only have your lickers and your hunters and chimeras and so forth, but you have like detailed explanations either in the game or promotional materials as to why they exist and how they compare to each other and even how much they go for on the open market. Like,
Yeah,
I love that world building.
you really like that world building. You mentioned that to me before. You're like, "Oh, I just love learning about this monster's like LinkedIn profile and seeing what it's up to."
I don't know if you will be surprised or just exasperated with the level of detail I have some of these on some of these guys when we start doing our reviews, but
No, I'm excited for it. I mean,
kind of a lot.
it's great when we get to talk about things that we're passionate about instead of just Cowboy Bebop again.
hmm
I mean, I
Oh
love
yeah.
Cowboy
Oh
Bebop, but not the live action. Oh,
yeah. Everybody, that was kind of a spoiler, but tune in Monday, the past or future Monday to see our Cowboy Bebop live action Netflix series review. I don't know, you'll love it. It's better than watching the show. So.
yeah.
And then there's this thing. It's kind of cool. We still don't know what the hell's going on with that. Uh, like it looks like it's using the arms and legs of several bodies as limbs. It's kind of like I guess, a rat king made of human zombies, if I had to guess.
It kind of reminds me a bit of the this is a spoiler for Evil Dead Rise, but do you remember the final villain in that film?
Oh yeah, I didn't, but yeah, yeah, good callback. I remember
Yeah,
kind of what you're talking
it kind of
about.
gives me vibes of that. But also,
Like
yeah, I
like
see like Rat King vibes, thinking of like The Last of
mhm.
Us or something.
Oh, well, kinda. I mean, the Rat King in The Last of Us was kind of just a big monster, if I remember right. Like it had like bodies pressed into each other, making a thing, but its body was mostly a big monster with the one stalker that split off from it.
Hmm.
But in history, a rat king, it was like a real phenomenon. I'm sure you're familiar. But you had a bunch of rats that got stuck together because of grime, usually by the tail. But the rats themselves were, just still rats. And I kind of wonder, I guess it'll depend on how these things are connected, because right now it doesn't look like they assemble into a humanoid body at all. Like I'll be looking forward to that.
All I know is that thing's probably going to be like terrifying to watch. It's probably
Yeah.
what's going to chase him to the barn, is my guess.
I'm guessing this is like the family of people who live in that house.
Yeah, what's left of him.
Yeah. It's funny. In another movie, I would see this moment, be like, "Oh, this is a nightmare sequence," but it's Resident Evil, so I'm just like, "Fuck yeah, let's go, boss fight."
Oh yeah, yeah. I imagine there's going to be a lot of quote unquote bosses in this film.
Yeah, and here we have your more normal zombie horde. It looks like in the hospital, so things are going great at Raccoon General.
Yeah, I think I read in another interview with Cregger, he said that zombies themselves make up a small part of the film.
hmm
So we're going to get a lot of BLWs, I think.
Neat. Or just like survival emphasis. Who's to say? I do like some of the stuff we get with the zombies, though. Even the trailer, the zombie rain with them falling off the buildings is cool.
Oh, yeah, that's like my favorite
Um,
part of the trailer. Oh, I already said my favorite
Badass.
part. This is my other favorite part. I just like the
That's okay.
trailer in general. It's great.
It's a good trailer. And the bit with him hitting the woman on the road and she's a zombie. I'm sure a lot of movies and shows have done that. It reminds me of the opening of Resident Evil 2. But it's probably, it's been around. It's not necessarily new, but it's always evocative.
It's a classic zombie trope.
Running towards a overturned police car, it looks like, finding something ominous. There's this. I'm assuming this is the same shot as the hand coming out of the whatever.
Yeah, that I
And
think that's its head. That's like the zombie baby head.
yeah, it's out of focus, but definitely looks something like an infant, and it's coming out of some type of container. And he's covered with blood at this point, and it looks like his environment is too. So maybe he like had to blow up or kill whatever was the host mother for this thing, and now he's watching it come out of the corpse. to
Oh.
guess.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Ah, yeah,
And Zombie
this is
Rain.
so good right here. That's really I hope the games do like take inspiration from whatever's going on in this film, because that's a
Mhm.
great looking scene right there. You know how they like took the laser hallway from like the Mila Jovovich like first Resident Evil?
Yeah, they've done that a couple of times.
They love those
They
lasers.
also they also took the subterranean lab from that first movie and they used it in the 2 and 3 remakes.
Yeah.
The original, I haven't played the originals yet. It's on my list, but from what I understand, they didn't have like those subterranean labs. They uh no, I won't spoil that. We'll cover that in our reviews eventually. But they instead for the remakes they invented Nest and Nest 2, which are both takes on the Hive from the first Resident Evil movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, new trailer looks cool. The first teaser looked even cooler. Nothing wrong with the new one. Just it's more set up for the actual plot and character of the movie. Where at this point, not having seen the movie, I'm most invested in the horror and franchise connections. I realize that's a very lowbrow synopsis, or I don't know, a lowbrow sense of what appeals to me. But we are talking about a video game movie, so forgive me for not being a Hitchcock over here.
I mean, I'm just excited to see another Zach Cregger project. Even if this was named something else besides Resident Evil, I still would be all over it because
Oh,
it
absolutely.
looks really good.
Yeah, yeah. Like Weapons. I don't know. There were a few good movies last year, but Weapons was toward the top of the list. So no, we'd be going to see it no matter what this was. But yeah, the fact that it's tied into a franchise I'm already really passionate about, or at least have been for the last few months at any rate, does increase my excitement somewhat. Even though I understand that, you know, there is no real canon here. Like, I'm not watching this to get the 411 on what's happening in the RE universe. It's just, it's a licensed product.
Yeah, it's still like I said. I've heard rumors that the reason as to why these Resident Evil films are not in the same, like the live action are not in the same universe, is due to some sort of legal shenanigans. Like they can still make live action films, but they have to be their own continuity.
I mean, that could be, but I think even if that wasn't a problem, they still wouldn't be that closely tied into each other. It would just be such a headache, trying to coordinate between different teams and different countries working in different mediums. Like
Yeah,
it just wouldn't pay off for them. What they have right now is the freedom to take what they want from the games and put it into the movies, and also then take the concepts that are well received from the movies and add them into the games like they've been doing. And I think that's kind of the right level of interconnectivity to have.
yeah,
I know I've seen people complain about the fact that the movie, as far as we have seen, doesn't have Leon in it and it isn't adapting a story from the games. I've seen people say, well, it could have just been any kind of monster movie. It just has the, Resident Evil iconic thing slapped onto it, like Raccoon City and the T virus and Umbrella. And I don't know, I guess that's true, but theoretically, couldn't you say that for a lot of Resident Evil stuff? Like Resident Evil Outbreak is just a zombie survival game that happens to be set in Raccoon City with Umbrella involved because you don't get to play as like Jill or Leon or somebody.
yeah.
Um,
And it's also the fact it's like we've already seen those characters in stories 1,000 times before. Like
yeah.
like I've seen Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. We'll probably cover that one day. But
Hmm.
it's like I don't need to see those characters again. I want to see new folks. It's why I really liked RE7 is because it's just a good entry point for me, someone who, you know, before that didn't really play a lot of the franchise itself.
Yeah. I mean, when you have this kind of long running franchise, especially something that's not like Batman, but is more broad, you need to add that kind of new DNA into it. You need to be experimenting with and playing with new concepts, or else you just wind up spinning your wheels, repeating the same stories over and over again.
Yeah.
Um, and that's going to be more for some reason, and I think this is kind of cool, but also kind of odd. Resident Evil is one of the few long-running game franchises that is progressing in real time. So Leon is now like 60 years old in game. I'm kind of flabbergasted. Like, I respect it, but why would you do that? Why not just have it be the eternal present like Marvel Comics, so Leon can still be ambiguously in his 20s or 30s in 2045, and you don't have to worry about how he fights zombies when he's that old. But it's because they're insistent on letting their characters age and time pass, apparently. I assume that at some point, Leon and Chris and all of them are going to have to die or retire, and we'll have new protagonists taking those lead roles. So,
Yeah, it's like with the Street Fighter franchise, the characters keep getting older and stuff like that. Although they're not
do they?
progressive in real time like we are in real life, but yeah.
Huh.
Like Street
Yeah, I'm
Fighter
not like a
6.
Street Fighter fan. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Street Fighter 6 is like man, the Street Fighter timeline is all over the place. I'll get into that later. But 6 is the most recent entry, and like Chun Li's like in her 50s now, and
Oh my God.
yeah, still looking like Chun Li. Not that I said anything, but
You heard
I
it here, folks. Snipe likes older women. It's canon.
uh, maybe, but I will say that regarding your aging comment, we'll talk about that in Death Island if we ever get to that.
We're gonna be 50 by the time we cover Death Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, at some point we'll sit down and kind of talk about our schedule because it's going to be kind of funny because like the more research I do into these things, like I'm able to find more things like, oh wait, there actually is a way that we can play and review Resident Evil Gaiden. And there is a way that we can play and review Survive and Metal Gear Portable Ops and this and that. And it makes me realize like, okay, so we release an episode every 2 weeks, and every like 4 to 5 episodes is a video game. How quickly are we going to progress through these franchises? And yeah, usually probably not very quickly, but yeah, we'll have to kind of work out the fine details of our schedule. Anyway, some games are definitely going to take more time, especially with the approach I'm wanting to take to them. Like, for example, with Resident Evil 2, my goal is before we review it to uh, beat the OG game and to like do most of the challenges in the remake, including like Fourth Survivor and Ghost Survivors. So like that's definitely going to take me a bit. But we'll just need to factor those things in when we're making our schedule.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but to get back on topic, cool trailer, excited for the movie.
Yeah. That sums it up.
All right. Any final thoughts, Knight?
Just that I'm excited for it, and I mean September 18th, I think is what it said as release date is. That's only about I think 2 months away, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
So we'll be seeing that pretty soon.
yeah, we will, and hopefully, I mean, we already know this, but viewer, our goal is going to be to have a episode reviewing the movie out within that week. Hopefully, like a day or two after the movie comes out. I mean, we'll see what actually happens when the rubber meets the road. But that's what we're hoping to do.
Yep.
So stay tuned and find out whether it lived up to the hype or if we were horrifically disappointed.